From the mind of M. Night Shyamalan comes Devil Stuck in an Elevator with some strangers. Dun 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 dun! I review movie previews. What's up, good movie lovers? I've seen this preview twice in the theaters. Once before Inception, the other before The Expendables. And both times, the audience reacted exactly the same. As soon as M. Night's name was mentioned, everyone just groaned. Oh, it's an M. Night movie? Is it gonna have another twist ending? I think the overall feeling here, by us the audience, to seeing M. Night's name was best summarized by some random dude a couple rows behind me whispering to his friend, "I wanna like his movies, but I never do." It's a twist ending that not even the Sixth Sense top of his game Shyamalan could have come up with. From boy wonder to cinematic blunder. Do you think that M. Night's name is hurting the marketability of this film? Would you see it if M. Night's name wasn't mentioned? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. And let's issue warning sign number 76. M. Night Shyamalan is associated with this movie. And for this review, I'm debuting some new technology that's initiated by the power of the green monocle. So we're gonna activate it and go inside of the trailer to search the movie truth. Okay, I feel a little dematerialized, like I'm being transported in Star Trek, but it hasn't completed the process yet. That's okay, this is the first time I'm using this, so we'll get the kinks out in future videos. Let's bring up the preview here. Let's fast forward it to the part where everyone starts groaning. The Night Chronicles. Really, M. Night? Now, I actually like this style of this preview. It's playing with this whole notion of the world being turned upside down. Heaven and hell, up and down. It's set in an elevator. Give this preview credit for at least trying to be more than just a straight up commercial. It has a little bit of artistry to it. The music is very Shyamalan-ish, where all of his films have kind of like this everyday music kind of quality, but there's an undercurrent of something sinister, something Twilight Zone-y and just not right. On any ordinary day, and the Y extends. It's interesting because the Y, you can kind of look at it like two roads converging. And again, if we're looking at this preview where everything's upside down, if we turn it right side up, the Y is going up. So is the twist going to be that the devil is really an angel and that these souls are battling for their redemption? So now as our curiosity is piqued, we meet the characters that are going to be trapped in the elevator with the devil. Dun 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 dun! Everyone in this film seems to be an actor that looks like someone who's more famous. This girl kind of reminds me of Zooey Deschanel, but she's actually the actress who played Emma Craven in that Mel Gibson movie Edge of Darkness, which kind of some people saw. And this hoodie guy who looks like he should be the prime suspect in terms of who is the devil. It's always a guy dressed in a hoodie. Let's stop it right there. How did they do this? They got Kathy Bates? Misery, Titanic? Oh, sorry. This is Jenny O'Hara. She was in Extract, that Mike Judge movie that pretty much no one but the actors saw. So here everyone's waiting for the elevator and there's a very evil red looking arrow, but it's going up. But remember, the outside world is downside up, so the inside world is upside down. Does that make sense? This is Bokeem Woodbine, who's made his living starring in films like Wishmaster 2 and Sniper 2. The setup of Act 1 is essentially complete here. It was an ordinary day until everyone got in the elevator. And now something interesting is going to happen. I do like how this preview started us far away and in a very disembodied kind of way, just journeyed into this building, into the elevator, taking us to where the story's going to be. We have this bigger picture and it's zeroing in on this small drama taking place in really one of the most confined spaces that we have in our contemporary society today. It's all very David Fincher, The Panic Room-ish, where you have the camera in that film kind of going through the walls and showing us the spaces. Also, definite influence from Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, where we have the famous spirit, devil, demon chasing everyone in the forest, and there's always the POV cam going in. So is this the evil? Is this the spirit of the devil coming in and going into the elevator? Or is it because this disembodied camera, this point of view came from above, it's actually an angel. It's actually redemption from heaven coming down. And does that spirit kind of go into the elevator and possess someone? Not necessarily that everyone came in and one person was the devil, but the evil kind of spirit searched for the weakest person, searched for the most corrupt, and then took their body. So the elevator stops, everyone begins to panic a little bit. Who's writing this stuff? It's not M. Night. He's responsible for the idea because this is part of his Night Chronicles. The screenwriter here is Brian Nelson, who's responsible for the scripts of 30 Days of Night and Hard Candy. That's a pretty solid resume, but from the evidence here, I still have to issue warning sign number 64, bad and or cliche dialogue. Check that out, that's borderline cheesy. Which elevator is stopped? Number 6. I guess if you're going to do a story dealing with the devil, why not just incorporate all the borderline cliche ideas associated with that kind of character? Here we're introduced to a new location within the building because we don't want it to get too claustrophobic. Again, you could look at something like Die Hard, which had many different locations within the one building, so that you felt a sense of newness scene to scene. So we know we're going to be cutting back to these guys watching everything on their monitors taking place in the elevator. Having a movie confined to a small space isn't anything necessarily new in movie history. Alfred Hitchcock did it with Lifeboat, there was Misery, Saw was in just one location, and there's the upcoming Ryan Reynolds movie, Buried, where that's just a ripoff of a scene from Kill Bill, where Uma Thurman is trapped in a coffin. So it's like, hey, let's make that the whole movie. But I kind of appreciate this cinematic challenge because in a movie time where CGI is everywhere, there's temptation to just use that to impress us. Here, it's going back to the bare bones of drama. People in a confined space battling with each other for what they want, just using words and emotions. The setup is interesting enough, but the major question is this gonna be scary? I actually like this moment here. The lights go out and all we hear are their voices. Will it be able to use that and mine it for everything that it's worth? Tight shots, close up, shaky cam, predictable, but what else are you gonna do in this kind of environment? So, seems to be doing things right, has some potential. Uh-oh, fast-paced music change. Now it's trying to force excitement and interest in us. Dude, they're in an elevator. How exciting can it be? Chill out, marketing tool, preview music. So it turns into Die Hard the horror movie as the fire truck shows up, and now the letters start to slam on the screen because I guess that's like our hearts racing, right? And red is evil, it's the devil, and how do they have knives? I bet you it's the guy with the hoodie. What did that mean? An image of everybody dead already? So is this purgatory? Now we're seeing something that happened before? What is the twist gonna be? The twist from the mind of M. Night Shyamalan. No. And let's guess. One of these 5 people are not who they appear to be. And of course there's a mirror in this elevator, and that'll lead to a lot of scary imagery. And this seems to be a deleted scene from The Happening, along with movie cliche moment 143 that's taken place in other films like Fight Club and Airplane. Here it's an oblivious janitor with the headphones on, not noticing as a body falls behind him. Kinda like True Lies, where the guy's cleaning up and the tail end of the plane comes through the building, mixed with the bodies falling in The Happening. And so what are they gonna do? Try to escape the elevator, of course, and now we get the sense that this was influenced by Saw, where Jigsaw has kind of created some booby traps, right? It was an ordinary day, and random events aren't so random, and it's all a purpose. Very similar to that Saw kind of motivation. And then we have darkness, some person screams, and some like stoner-looking guy who wanted to be the mummy for Halloween got some toilet paper and wrapped it around clumsily on his face and showed up here. Reflection in the mirror. Scary. Now let's cue the creepy final line of dialogue. Cue the credits, and we learn that the director is John Dowdle, who along with his brother co-directed Quarantine, which was an American remake of a horror movie titled Wreck. They seem to be working in their element. In Quarantine it was an apartment building, here it's an office building. A slight sign of movie hope for this movie that the directors are in familiar territory. They're young, they don't have a lot of credits, so they might be motivated to prove themselves and to take an idea that seems pretty simple and make it exciting in a creative way. With all of this considered, I'm still hopeful. I still give M. Night the benefit of the doubt. I want his movies to be great because he's one of those filmmakers that obviously doesn't conform to StoryCorp's mandates. And while the whole twist thing is the major criticism of M. Night, he responds by saying that his stories are spiritual and are based from emotional perspectives. While we really can't argue that today's stories could definitely use a little more spirituality and characters based in emotion, M. Night's weakness is also StoryCorp's strength, an ability to focus on conflict and narrative, which hooks us, the viewer, and gets our attention. Collaborating here with a screenwriter and a director might be the best thing that's ever happened to M. Night. He tries to do everything, so it might be healthy to let his idea breathe and let his baby be raised by the village here. No, not that village. If other perspectives can add to the M. Night vision, this movie might have a chance to actually surprise us. Devil is rated unworthy of big screen viewing. See it as a rental, because it's not that different from what we've seen before, but is it a sign of the movie apocalypse? It has a low budget, no-name actors, directors that are looking to prove themselves, is an original idea, seems character-based, and might actually have a message a la The Twilight Zone, which seems to obviously have inspired it. If M. Night's name wasn't associated with this, we would just think it was an average horror film. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's trying to do the best with the pieces that it has in place. And that's really all we can ask of any film. Because of that, let's give this a low movie hope. The budget is only $10 million. For some reason, it's being released September 17th instead of the obvious Halloween-ish time, but we can assume that it doesn't want any competition from Saw 3D, which makes money every Halloween, so instead they're opting to go up against Easy A and The Town, which are in different genres. So hopefully they're thinking that a horror movie out September 17th will be the only one, and if we're in that pre-Halloween mode, we might be interested in seeing them. I have noticed that the TV spots are not mentioning M. Night's name anymore, so they're just marketing the idea. With that, there is a chance this could make its money back opening weekend. And before all is said and done, look for it to make a worldwide total of $40 million, which will be enough money to justify the next installment of The Night Chronicles. Dun 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 dun. So until next time, consider yourselves advised. Choose your movies wisely because StoryCorp gives us more of what we pay for. And as always,
long live good movies.